My head shaking. Well, my bold prediction, because I think you're alluding to Geralt there with yours. My prediction is I think Chance has a very good chance to make a run today. I'm excited to see how far he can go amongst the other Protoss players there in that lower half of the bracket.
I saw that chance pun you did there. You thought I wouldn't notice. You took a chance. And I took it. Alright, here we go. Spawning in the top right corner of Hardwire Ladder Edition. Not the Light Edition. It is, he won the last series 2-0. Can he win this one? It is ReBellioN.
Are you okay?
What's the team called?
What's the team, Chase? What team is this?
Ignition something.
What? It's
Exertius Ignat.
What?
Is that it? Exeritus.
It's right there. You can read it.
I feel like a boomer. Just like Exeritus Ignat.
Yeah.
Yes. Professional caster, by the way, guys.
God. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have his opponent, the French Protoss player, representing Alpha X, the young boy himself. I think he's even underage. It is Arrogfire. Woo! 12-year-old legend.
12-year-old. I mean, we touched on like the Korean players who are, you know, a couple steps below the top level.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard of Arrogfire before personally.
Oh.
And I feel like he's a very solid player. You know, he's also maybe a few steps below the top Europeans, but Sparkling Tuna giving that opportunity. I'm excited to see how he goes this game.
Yeah. If for the people who are unfamiliar with Arrogfire, I was joking that he's 12, but no, he's far older than that. He is 16 years old.
He's a boomer.
Yeah, he's Ome Arrogfire. But he has been on the rise recently. I think recently he hit 6K on EU, and he has been a champion in those Alpha X Junior Championships. If you're unaware, Alpha X has been running some tournaments, some leagues, I should say, for players under 18 years of age, and Arrogfire has been winning those cups, or winning those leagues.
Oh, okay. It's kind of hyping him up, and then the probe kind of scouts the proxy.
Yeah.
That's okay. One thing to touch on, like this pylon that Arrog's thrown down at the Natural of ReBellioN, is this to scout the units that come out, or?
Yeah, I would assume
I'm so smart.
You already know, mate. There's a reason why you're the best caster, especially in PvPs, you know.
I am a PvP expert. This is my third PvP caster.
You know,
it's like 4.
You know what it's all about. But I was going to say that you don't really see proxy robo too often anymore. It's something that fell out of fashion for a while. We've seen a little bit of resurgence when Hero came back. Interesting.
Yeah, and speaking of interesting, ReBellion's response to this proxy is to proxy himself. So that's kind of a chat, but if he's got a robo at home as well, can we just talk about the Arrogfire's proxy position here? It's not overly aggressive, but it's not like, you know, behind the natural conservative. So what do you think? Do you think this is kind of a middle ground? He could be aggressive or he could be defensive, or it's kind of a weird position in my eyes.
It's very odd. It's very odd. It's just odd, mate. I think it was just designed to like throw his opponent off when the probe scout came across the map, or when a scout came, and it's like, yo, you know, you've got your gases. Where's your additional pylon? Where's your tech being thrown down? What the hell's it going to be? Obviously, it didn't. Like, it was scattered in the end, which is a bit of a shame. So things didn't really go Arrogfire way. But I mean, now he's pulling the trigger, and I don't think there's a world where he can push up this ramp, mate.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. You know, he's got a Warp Prism on the way, but even then, I don't think that. Maybe just poke at the wall here, maybe get a gateway advantage, which is huge in mirror matchups. And you know, any kind of advantage in mirror matchup is really good. But yeah, I don't think with that shield battery in the centuries he can get too much done here.
Yeah, like maybe he can get a gateway, maybe he can get the fringe pylon as well, and I mean that's some damage, sure, but like pushing up into an immortal and into force fields, like it's insane.
Yeah, the one thing you do have to keep in mind though is Rebellion's got this gateway on the other side of the map for some counter damage, and both players are on one base, so maybe sneaking some adepts in could be, you know, a great move here by Arog while he kind of contains his opponent. But as you said, I don't think he can end the game with this push right now.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, Arrogfire has fully walled off back at home, so even if there were adepts, like, he'll have a little bit of time to respond to that. But like, as the game goes on and as more shield batteries are added, it looks like ReBellioN cannot be broken, and Arrogfire respects that, and he takes a natural.
Yeah, but we do have to notice here, there is only two active. No, it's only one gateway here for ReBellioN. Well, technically it's two because he's got one across the map, but that's actually half the production of his opponent here. And kind of recognizing that kind of deficit there, he's thrown down this Robo off one base. And do you expect to see disruptors here, or do you think it could be Colossus?
I mean, I love it. The first disruptor's already out, mate. Let's go. This does. It was barely scouted by that shade, I think. Maybe. Oh
boy. Oh. Oof. That's wild. I could not play PvP, man. I could not do this. I have a heart attack before I was 14.
I know, right? It's so stressful. The blood pressure of these players has to be, it cannot be healthy. I feel sorry for our young boy here, but hopefully he can keep it up. As we do have both disruptors moving out. It gets spotted.
Oh, it does too. And it's that really good positioning by Arrogfire. It's going to move back in the main. You saw nothing. Still, we have a. Oh, does manage to avoid there. We have this gateway across the map to a Stalker's warped in, but I feel like ReBellioN need to pull the trigger soon here because we have a Nexus already finished out. I feel like oh gosh. I feel like a disruptor almost did a big hit.
Well, I mean, either way, the disruptor shot was massive, and then it didn't happen, and then now we lost the disruptor. Now he only has one. Like, he's working on immortal production. Meanwhile, Arrogfire has not stopped. Look at this, 5 immortals made. 5
immortals. Yeah, and when you're dealing with one base economy, like 5 immortals is scary enough, but especially with one base versus 2 base, it's yeah. It's looking tough for our Korean Protoss player from Exeritus Ignat.
Yeah, it really is, but at the same time, okay, there we go. He almost went for that shot. The robot production has actually stopped by Arrogfire because ReBellioN did warp in across the map. He was able to shut down that production. Meanwhile, some solid forest fields, couple of ReBellion's units get picked off.
That's right, and the problem is ReBellioN. He's kind of, you know, normally in a game, if you choose one path, you know, you tech your army and your economy, you kind of fall behind in the other ones. We see that Arrogfire is very aggressive with his opener, but he's kind of he's got better economy now, and honestly, even though we have a couple of disruptors out, he's got better tech, I'd say, with these 5 immortals. So
yeah,
it's a very tough spot for ReBellioN because he's not ahead in either of those 3 measures.
Exactly. Like, the only thing that he's really got going for him is that one disruptor in that war prism, and maybe he can have the miracle shot. But like, we have now a second base, we have a superior economy, we have shield batteries, we have overcharge. Like, Arrogfire, he has been running away with this, and ReBellioN is all in. Oh no!
It gets sniped, and ReBellioN unfortunately is forced to push up this ramp. Those immortals are arcing, and I don't think he's going to get much done here. He's super all in though, he can't turn around, but I think that Arrog's just in a very commanding position here.
He really is. Meanwhile, no, not again, the disruptor.
Where's my personal warp prism? There we go, GG call. Strong showing by our French Protoss. Arrogfire takes game 1.
Oh my god. That was so unfortunate that he lost that war prism and the disruptor. I agree with you that it was a really cheeky move that he did go for those disruptors, but I'll be honest, I thought he was going to send his war prism across the map immediately and try to hit the economy of Arrogfire, because we knew how difficult it was going to be for Arrogfire to push up that ramp, right? So I thought he was going to go for a counterattack, but instead he kept trying to connect with the army.
That's right. And by the time your War Prism does go across the map with that Disruptor, and your opponent goes uh-oh and pulls the trigger, you should have a second Disruptor as well, even if if they do commit like that. I agree with you. I think it would have been a good move there. I guess that's kind of a trade-off too against the brute force of the Immortals just pumping straight out, but going for a more intricate kind of Disruptor play, which is, as we saw, didn't work this game. Not often Disruptors don't work, but yeah, just well identified and recognized by Arrogfire and well played from it. So,
yeah, very well played indeed. And just like that, we have our young French player up in this series, and we'll see if he can close it out as we are getting ready for game number 2. The lobby has been made, and it is going to be on 2,000 atmospheres.
Is it on US Central? I guess on West. Okay. Alright, I didn't ruin the lobby. Run in. Okay, Arrogfire vs. ReBellioN. 2,000 atmospheres, PvP goodness. Ready to go. Game number 2.
Beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. Meanwhile, I have some news. I have some breaking news, folks. Breaking news. Exclamation mark B in the chat. We were looking for this player. He had 15 minutes. He had like half an hour. Geralt.
Oh, it wasn't me, was it?
Geralt checked in. He did not show up. He has been walkover.
Oh my days. That's yeah.
Hey, Chase,
Didn't
your
expect
prediction.
that.
What's going on? What's
My prediction? Nothing goes right for me, man. Nothing goes right. This time I'll get it right. Here we go in the top right corner, playing for Exercitus. Ignite. Had to wait for it to scroll around again. It is your Korean Protoss player. It is ReBellioN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the French Protoss player representing Alpha X. Currently up in the series, it is Arrogfire.
Yeah. Big shout out to Alpha X. They've been around for quite a while now, and they've fostered quite a few talents. Not only from Europe like Arrog, but also in North America. I know Vindicta was on Alpha X for quite a while. Might even still be on there. My knowledge is not the greatest, but similar openings, alright. Light. As you know, I'm a Protoss professional. This is the normal opening for PvP.
It is.
To Gateway. Yeah.
I love how the probes are kind of chasing each other here. They're both headed towards the left-hand side of the map. Arrogfire being a little bit cheekier, keeping his probe hidden. And ReBellioN goes as far as the watchtower, and it looks like he will not check that location. Let's just
Yeah. Very interesting proxy position. Are you expecting to see maybe probably a probe to hang around? Oh wow, another probe. Another pile. Funnily enough, this is not, and even though they're both doing the same thing, this is not the standard opener anymore. The proxy pylon. Do you reckon a Stargate going down here, Light, or a Robo?
It's got to be a Stargate. Cybercore just finished off for ReBellioN. Unlike Arrogfire, he has kept his probe here with this pylon, and there we go. He is microing it. He's controlling it. There is that Stargate.
That is indeed a Stargate. Meanwhile, Arrogfire scouts the natural sees nothing. A couple of adepts, however. We got a Sentry Stalker on one side and 2 adepts on the other. What does this tell us, Light, about the player's motives? What's going on here?
I mean, I imagine ReBellioN is planning to go for an Oracle and like dive in with his adepts and Oracle at the same time. He has a couple of options. He can try and just focus on the the mineral line to try and deal some damage, or he can focus a little bit more on the army, focus down the Sentry. But yeah, he's got options when it comes to harassment and aggression.
That's right, especially when you see small advantage often overlooked is getting that Sentry, but Sentry Stalker into Stalker. You do have a little bit more energy there. We see actually a Phoenix popping here, and is he going to scout this Stargate Light? I think he might be able to.
Oh, he does!
Unbelievable scenes, ladies and gentlemen.
Arrogfire, he sees everything with his safe opener. He has been able to see all of this. Meanwhile, he's trying to chase down this adept, and he will not.
Yeah, actually, these adepts they shade, but Arrogfire, he recognized that he didn't have, the sentry energy to drop a force field. He just put a pylon down.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of slightly awkward. He's got a pylon blocking his way out, but with a warp prism soon. Whoop, this oracle coming in.
Yeah.
2 kills.
Only 2 kills for the time being. At least the Oracle does survive, but because Arrogfire was able to scout the proxy location earlier, he was able to keep his Stalkers in position in his main base. He was not caught off guard. Arrogfire defends beautifully.
That's right, good play by the Frenchman, and he's actually moving out here. This proxy Stargate now starts with a bit of a liability at this kind of production cutoff. He's cutting off the production lines here. The Void Ray will have to take a bit of a different angle because the Stalkers would catch him if it would rally back to the main. But looks like he wants to be aggressive here, and I'd like to see a natural behind this, to be honest, by Arrogfire.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up for it as well. He does have a probe in position. Meanwhile, ReBellioN is dipping in, but there are Stalkers in position to defend. It looks like, recall is forced.
Oh wow, and even with that Oracle adding the extra DPS, it's forcing those Stalkers to come home. Great move, but at the same time, Arrog's still got the sentry here, and he might be able to get a good force field. Oof. Not quite, but honestly, this force outside of the natural of ReBellioN, it still kind of serves the same purpose, right, of just keeping him contained.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you noticed, but ReBellioN was in the middle of expanding. Like, there's a reason why he had so many minerals banked up. He had almost 800 minerals there. Just wanting to get that Nexus up and running, but he just cannot. Meanwhile, decent force field, another couple of these adepts get picked off.
Yeah, that's right. And here we see another gateway going down for 3 total. Immortals now coming up for our Korean Protoss player, but it's just kind of the same old story. Arrogfire is just going to shoot away at these gateways in the light and the wall.
Exactly. Oh, forces the overcharge. Wow. A little bit premature there from ReBellioN, so a little bit trigger happy, but ReBellioN is finally expanding. He is finally taking a natural base over on the left-hand side of the map.
You're right. It's in the top left corner. Now, the Stargate's kind of like right next to his base, so it's so good. But there's that pylon in between. Gateway going to get taken out here, maybe. Sentry's going to get picked up by the Warp Prism. Good micro. It just feels kind of like the same story here as Game 1 Light, except we do have a natural Nexus. Yeah. In an unnatural location.
We do have the unnatural natural from ReBellioN. Both players are expanding, and it looks like ReBellioN, with the help of his Immortal, is slowly pushing Arrogfire away. And now Arrogfire, I'm sure he's going to be feeling pretty good about himself. He's like, mate, sure he pushed me away, but like my economy is going to be so much better than his. But ReBellioN is getting a 3rd Nexus.
Yeah, that's right. The one thing I would have liked to see from ReBellioN is maybe probe up a little bit harder and maybe go for a recall to the top left of that base. Get that mining going faster. But, it's not the worst position. And this natural actually looks like this 3rd base looks like a natural now. And the thing is, like, knowledge is a double-edged sword. And Arrogfire scouts the natural base. He's going to think he's way ahead.
Exactly. So that may impact the decision-making of Arrogfire and whether or not he commits to certain attacks or whether he decides to back off and give ReBellioN a bunch of room because he knows how ahead he is economically. We'll see, as at the moment both players are going for Blink. They're both going for their, bread and butter PvP compositions.
Indeed, we have Stalkers, we have Immortals, we have Blink. We don't have Disruptors yet, but expect if the game goes long enough that to kind of occur here. But at the moment, I'm I think even though Arrogfire has the supply advantage, this 3rd base is going to kick in soon, and it's a bit scary for Arrogfire.
Oh yeah, like at the moment the worker counts are even. But pretty soon ReBellioN, as long as he's on top of his worker production, he should be taking a pretty big lead. And then it's going to be on Arrogfire on whether or not he can try and hit the timing. He's already moving out. I love how aggressive he's being. Blink will finish by the time he gets across the map.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually that Phoenix did manage to scout the probe count at the natural there. And I don't know if he just thinks he can end the game right here because it was so little. But it looks like he's going to try and keep ReBellioN honest. And there's only 1 shield battery here. 2 Immortals each. I'm not sure. I feel like that's a lot of Stalkers though for Arrogfire.
It really is Arrogfire. He's up 21 Stalkers versus 10.
Oh man, I was right.
And you eyeball there. It looks like the blue player has more stalkers. There we go. We have a blink on forward. Overcharge is being popped, but the immortals are just being focused down.
Yeah, that's right. Only one immortal left, and these stalkers are in such awkward positions. That powered shield battery going down, and it looks like, just looking at the gateway count, this just looks like there's not enough to kind of hold on here. Pulling the probes, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, exactly. If the game had gone on, then this third base would have come into play, but it did not. GG gets called, and Arrogfire takes the series 2-0.
2-0, wow. That's crazy. But yeah, did I expect that? Arrogfire played really well for both of those games. Took the initiative even when his opponent did something wacky. He still just kind of, played solid enough to, I guess, break through it. So.
Oh yeah. Looks like it was just good enough. And with that, Arrogfire, he is our second player to move on to the semi-finals. Not our first player, though, because if you look at the bracket, it looks like another Protoss player has beaten him to it.
Oh, was it Art?
No.
That was Arrogfire, wasn't it? Damn it, oh man. That's okay. Yeah, European Protoss. I know there's a lot of Protoss on the European ladder, so it's I guess we're starting to get acquainted with some of them. But